Muy buenos días con todos. Muchas gracias por estar esta mañana en la Cámara de Comercio de Lima. Tenemos una conferencia muy importante, muy interesante, con una temática que está en boga, que está de moda y que es muy necesaria de cara al desarrollo de las empresas y de cara a la mejora de la competitividad y la productividad. Esta mañana vamos a contar con un experto en materia de EI, es el señor Ori Shachar. Él es un especialista en materia de inteligencia artificial y esta conferencia va a tener una presentación muy utilitaria y muy práctica. Yo quería agradecerles a ustedes por estar esta mañana. Este evento ha sido también posible gracias a Jennifer Salvo, que es la CEO de Soft Power Connections y que nos ha permitido ya en varias ocasiones contar con especialistas en esta materia. Quiero mencionarles dos cosas para poder tener un programa bastante fluido. La conferencia principal se va a llevar a cabo en inglés, así que para aquellos que quieran hacer un seguimiento en español, los invito a que puedan utilizar la aplicación Google Translator en su celular, lo ponen en modo conversación y se va a poder, digamos, traducir en español mientras el señor Shahar haga su presentación en inglés. Lo segundo es, vamos a utilizar unos QRs que les van a repartir en breves momentos para poder recibir las preguntas del público en una sección final de preguntas y respuestas que vamos a compartir con el señor Ori Shachar. I'm going to switch to English just to welcome Mr. Ori Shachar to be part of this program. Thank you very much. It's an honor for us to have you here. For the Lima Chamber of Commerce, talking about AI is a necessity. It's a necessity. We are eager to know exactly the tools. This is a new way of making not only business, but improve our competitivity, our productivity, one of the major challenges that Peru has. And of course, we will be more than happy to know from your side, and as a third country, development country, how can we benefit our companies and our productivity as a country using this important AI matter. La conferencia, como ustedes verán en la invitación, está enfocada a la IA, inteligencia artificial, en sus empresas y cómo se puede aplicar el día de hoy. Así que les recomiendo podamos tomar nota de la información que es muy, muy práctica, muy utilitaria y que, como señalé al inicio, va a ser es parte de una serie de conferencias que como Cámara de Comercio también estamos promoviendo. Bien, entonces, para empezar nuestro programa, invito al gerente general de la Cámara de Comercio de Lima, el señor Carlos García, para que nos dé las palabras de bienvenida. Carlos, adelante, por favor.
Muy buenos días con todos. Ori Shachar, welcome to the Lima Chamber of Commerce. It's a pleasure to have you here. Para nosotros como Cámara de Comercio estamos muy involucrados en lo que es la inteligencia artificial, que ya dejó de ser algo del futuro para ser algo ya del presente. Y más allá de que hemos tenido diferentes participaciones y conferencias, inclusive talleres de capacitación a través de nuestras unidades de fortalecimiento de las empresas, socias y no socias de la Cámara de Comercio, siempre estamos buscando la forma de que las cosas sean aterrizadas, las cosas sean aplicadas. Entonces, cuando Jennifer me llamó y nos comentó de esta oportunidad, la tomamos porque consideramos muy importante no solamente entender los conceptos base de lo que es la inteligencia artificial, y sus aplicaciones, que ya todos creo que ya hemos explorado aún de curiosidad las diferentes potenciales que nos permite, si no ya lo estamos implementando en nuestra operación diaria. Así que cuando me comentó que había esa posibilidad de tener una persona que ha implementado eh, sistemas complejos de inteligencia artificial en empresas globales, aprovechamos la oportunidad, porque no es tan sencillo todavía, ¿no? Hay muchas preguntas sobre cómo lo debemos hacer. Nosotros como Cámara, ya de manera directa, les comentamos que nuestra primera aplicación de inteligencia artificial es a través de un nuevo directorio de empresas. ¿Por qué? Una razón muy simple. Quienes ustedes tienen como ustedes tienen una afiliación a la Cámara de Comercio de Lima, si recuerdan, cuando llenaron la ficha, nos pusieron el dato de repente del gerente general y del gerente de administración y el rubro en una manera muy general al cual se dedican. Pero con esa información es imposible hacer un directorio comercial. Y la verdad es que, sinceramente, ponernos a llamar a cada uno de los 10.000 asociados para que nos den la información correcta iba a ser muy complejo. Entonces dijimos, bueno, ¿cómo la inteligencia artificial nos puede ayudar a solucionar ese problema? Así que dijimos, bueno, todos ustedes tienen una huella digital, ya sea una web, un LinkedIn, un Instagram, un Facebook, para promocionar sus productos y servicios. Así que lo que hicimos fue, bueno, veamos a partir del nombre de la empresa toda la data que tiene en el mundo digital. Y fue nuestra primera aplicación. Ya hicimos un beta en los últimos meses. Y nos acompaña también Pablo Ramírez, nuestro gerente de TI, fue quien lideró el proyecto. Empezamos Marcha Blanca en marzo y la verdad es que los resultados, si es cierto, claro, es una herramienta viva que estamos permanentemente monitoreándola, ya da una visión rápida de lo que son las empresas. Hoy en día, si ustedes entran a CCL Negocios, buscan el nombre de su empresa o un producto en particular, van a ver los socios de la Cámara de Comercio de Lima que ofrecen estos productos y servicios. Y la idea es justamente darle a las empresas oportunidades de negocio, que finalmente es una de las necesidades puntuales que tenemos como institución, una de las promesas que tenemos con cada una de las empresas, facilitarles oportunidades de negocio, y esta es una forma concreta en la cual estamos buscando mostrar los productos y servicios. Esa es nuestra primera aproximación. Estoy seguro que vamos a buscar nuevas formas de agilizar nuestros procesos internos y demás con la aplicación de inteligencia artificial, pero digamos, el mensaje creo que para todos es el mismo, ¿no? Tenemos que incorporar la inteligencia artificial en nuestros procesos, ser más eficientes, ser más eficaces, reducir nuestros tiempos de respuesta, y qué mejor que tener presentaciones como las que Ori Shachar nos va a traer el día de hoy para entender mejor el límite, el potencial que tiene la herramienta para desarrollar potencial de negocio a través desde el punto de vista que ni siquiera los hemos estado viendo al día de hoy. Así que espero que al final de la conferencia, estoy seguro que muchos de ustedes van a llevarse nuevas ideas sobre lo que se puede hacer con inteligencia artificial, y desde ya cuenten con el equipo de la Cámara de Comercio de Lima para apoyarlos en ese proceso. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias, Carlos. Importante resaltar justamente que la Cámara también está en esa línea, pero como siempre decimos, nunca es suficiente. Y lo importante es estar permanentemente conectados y absorbiendo esa gran información en una tendencia y una temática que hoy día ya nadie puede negar que es necesaria para el desarrollo empresarial. Dicho eso, quiero cederle la palabra a Jennifer Salvo, CEO de Soft Power Connections, para que nos cuente un poco, no solamente sobre lo que es soft power, sino cómo tenemos a Ori esta mañana aquí en la Cámara. Jennifer, adelante. Muchas gracias. Bienvenido.
Bueno, buenos días a todos. Es un gusto estar de nuevo en la Cámara de Comercio, que se ha convertido en un partner nuestro, un colaborador constante en esta exploración de temáticas que nos parece que son fundamentales para el desarrollo de nuestro país. Soft Power Connection es una empresa que actúa de puente para los negocios internacionales. Conectamos compradores, vendedores, startups, inversionistas. Hacemos posible el desarrollo del comercio internacional. Y en este trabajo que nos ha permitido trabajar con, no sé, más de 20 países y empresas, no sé, 40 países, descubrimos que hay factores que aumentan nuestra competitividad, que hacen posible atraer la mirada hacia la región, que nos hacen posible ser actores relevantes en este mundo. Y hay que aprender, hay que traer a la región cosas que no son fáciles. En esta búsqueda hemos ido identificando y venimos trabajando ya con un portafolio de speakers. Ya hemos traído 2 veces a Moïse Nabón, el creador de los autos autónomos, la startup más valiosa que ha vendido Israel, en 15.100 millones de dólares, y que después de lograrla en el mundo tecnológico, ha dedicado su vida a enseñar ética de la inteligencia artificial. Él fue nuestro primer speaker, y lo pongo como un hito muy relevante porque no solo buscamos hacer competitividad para la rentabilidad del negocio, sino nos parece que estas conversaciones son claves para ver cómo mapeamos y cómo diseñamos el mundo que queremos. La inteligencia artificial es una herramienta fundamental, es el desde, así como Internet, uno ya no uno pregunta si hay que tenerlo o no, es lo básico. La inteligencia artificial es hoy día una herramienta básica para el desarrollo. Pero también nos va a presentar desafíos muy complejos, ¿no? ¿Qué va a pasar con el trabajo? ¿Qué va a pasar con nuestras competencias? ¿Cómo nos adecuamos? ¿Qué es lo ético en el manejo de datos? ¿Qué se hace? ¿A quién pertenecen? Una serie de preguntas. Y creo que estos speakers nos van permitiendo tener de primera mano a quienes están pensando antes que nosotros cómo hacerlo. En agosto viene otro líder, un líder en genómica, el doctor Noam Schönbrunn, que está incorporando inteligencia artificial y Big Data al desarrollo genético. Sus hallazgos han generado más de 13 startups. ¿Y quién es Ori? ¿Por qué estamos aquí reunidos para escuchar a Ori Shachar? Ori Shachar comienza su carrera, bueno, es un MBA, es Master of Science, viene del mundo biotecnológico y de la ciencia de la computación, trabajó en Mobileye, es parte del grupo creador del autopilot de Tesla. O sea, estamos hablando de desarrollo icónico a nivel global. Está en los fundamentos de una startup C3 que lleva la inteligencia artificial al mapeo de árboles frutales, y su cliente es la principal productora de jugo de Brasil, un monstruo a nivel mundial. Fue el CEO de otra startup que desarrolla remedios personalizados, nuevos fármacos con inteligencia artificial. Ha estado en la creación de aplicaciones nuevas que han abierto trocha. Y hoy día, desde su propia empresa, lo que hacen es asesorar empresas a nivel mundial en cómo implementar inteligencia artificial para ser más competitivos en nuestros procesos. Y su mensaje es muy interesante y yo creo que abre 2 líneas de pensamiento. Una, cómo minimizamos nuestros costos en incorporar la inteligencia artificial. Las empresas están destinando mucho dinero y mucho recurso humano en hacerlo, y el 90% falla. ¿Por qué? ¿Cómo acortamos esa brecha? Y lo segundo es su manera de mirar el futuro, que yo creo que también es interesante porque todos estamos removidos por lo que pasará con nuestra sociedad, con nuestro modelo de trabajo, con nuestras competencias, y cómo lo ve él y hacia dónde se encamina ese futuro. Así que nada, estoy muy orgullosa de estar con usted, les agradezco la presencia, y a quienes están por streaming también siguiéndolo, que hagamos el mejor uso posible, aprovechemos esta oportunidad y también la riqueza de las preguntas que vengan al final. Muchas gracias y los dejo con el artista Ori Shachar.
Well, I'm going to switch to English now. Thank you very much, Jennifer, for your kind words and very encouraging words in order to work through this better world using the AI as a very important tool. Well, now we have the main speaker of the morning, Mr. Ori Shachar. He is the CEO of Automated Labs. It spells like Auto 8 Labs. It's a very interesting company that has been built since 2023. However, Mr. Shachar has more than 25 years of experience on this topic. And actually, the conference is gonna talk about the competitivity, innovation, and sustainable necessity of our companies using AI in the practice. So I encourage you to take note on this important information in order to apply it to your business, to your businesses. The idea here is to use these tools not only for your company also, but also to connect with another ones in order to make a bigger business, bigger companies, and to also try to improve the quality of your services. Mr. Shachar, the floor is yours. Thank you very much for being here.
Hola a todos. Estoy muy contento de conocerlos a todos y quiero decir que amo profundamente su maravilloso país. Viajé a Perú hace 25 años y desde entonces tengo una enorme admiración por su cultura y por la belleza de su tierra. Me siento muy honorado de que me hayan invitado a hablar sobre inteligencia artificial y les pido disculpas por dar la charla en inglés, ya que no hablo español muy bien. Six months ago, the CEO of the Israeli startup Lemonade, an insurance AI company, gave a lecture named "The Aliens Have Landed and Can Work for Free." In this lecture, he showed how AI is constantly progressing and is getting smarter than us. And he felt the need to alert and tell everybody that we need to prepare for this. He said that in the last 2 years after ChatGPT launch, his company increased his business by 50% while reducing their workforce by 4%. But I will share with you another statistics which Jennifer shared with you, that Forbes says in a research, around 90% of proof of concepts, first projects, fail to reach production inside companies. Gartner also said the same, and that some companies have better chance to succeed. Corporations with more experience in the past with AI had higher success rates with generative AI application, while enterprises with less experience suffered higher failure rates. I'm going to explain you why is that and how to handle this. But first I want to, in order for you to understand, I want to differentiate two types of applications. One is AI assistance, GPT. It's great. It gives suggestions. It can write poems. It can help you write a love email or love message, right? Love letter. But you need the person to approve or modify. So there is a person in the loop. The other one is what we call fully autonomous AI. What we imagine, for example, when we want to replace a customer service agent, okay, which we call and handles all our requests. In the place I worked, Mobileye, we introduced for 20 years AI applications for the automotive industry. Mobileye started with driver assistance systems. Assistants, okay? What were those? Those were systems that alerted the driver, gave some beep. So when the driver unexpectedly changed lanes or was too close. And basically they gave the alert, but the driver had the responsibility to act. He could ignore or he could act. And this gives a lot of margin of error to this application because sometimes they were wrong alerts or was too sensitive. And it was okay, it was ignored. And when it worked, it saved lives. After a while, Mobileye started to introduce autonomous functions like braking the car before an accident, which is also, I would say, still the driver is most of the time responsible. This system should not have like false braking, and it does not always brake. So the driver is always responsible for the safe driving. But when it works, it saves lives. So these are kind of assistants. But over the years, Mobileye added more and more functions towards autonomous AI, okay? To take more responsibility from the driver's side. Now, there was one scenario that was really bothering Mobileye. This scenario. The problem with this scenario was not to cross the roundabout safely. The problem was how the driver will feel good with the drive. Many drivers said, it's not aggressive enough, or it's too aggressive, or I would have done it faster. So this is the problem with driving assists. Driving assistants or any AI assistants has the person in the loop saying, I like or no, approve or ignore, okay? Today, there are autonomous taxis already operating around the world. This is Waymo's in San Francisco. And when you ask a passenger, do you remember how it crossed the roundabout? The passenger doesn't remember. He didn't look at this. All the passenger was thinking about is how to get from A to B safely in a reasonable time. There was no driver in the loop to say, it's not assertive enough. So these two functions really of assistance and autonomous AI is really different. Let's talk about this assistant. I would like your participation. Who uses GPT or Claude or some other like this chat every day? I usually ask once a week, some raise every day. Now, with every month, I ask everybody every hour, every minute now. Okay? It's very useful, right? It helps write email and such. Which one of you is ready to take this GPT as it is, plug it into his email, and let it answer all the email correspondences for him? None. Why? Why is that? It makes mistakes. Okay, more. So there is some mistakes. I would say it doesn't even know you. It makes mistakes of knowledge, and it doesn't even know you. So it make mistakes because it doesn't come off like you. I will try to explain why is that. ChatGPT is operated by a large language model, LLM. A large language model are next word predictors. What do I mean next word predictors? I will tell you how they train it, okay? They take large sentences, take off the last word, put it in the side, take the rest of the sentence, and let the large model predict what would be the next word. If he is correct, you can compare, you reward it. If it is mistaken, you punish it. It learns. After you do it several times, you give it billions of sentences and burn a small forest, then you get a large language model which is trained, okay? And then you give it sentences, you give the next word, you put the whole new sentences, and then you get the next word, and the next word, and then you see GPT talks. Okay. Just know that when it needs to predict the next word, it actually has the dictionary of all the words that are possible, and it assigns a probability, okay? So for example, if you give it the sentence, Paris is the capital of, then it looks at all the possible words and assigns a probability, like France, which has a high probability, 0.92, almost 1. And the other get really low really low probability, which means that the answer has low randomness. What does it mean? Whenever you will put Paris is the capital of, you will get most certainly France. It will be correct. But if you will ask it, Marseille is the capital of, then you will get many possible answers. Okay? You will have high randomness. Okay? This sentence, Paris is the capital of, is what we call technically the context. For example, in GPT, it's your questions and documents and whatever you put there. Okay, like if you put a document and a sentence, please extract me the dates of such. This is called context. Okay. Autonomous AI agents require that the context generates low randomness possible answers to all possible questions. But then we saw, ChatGPT, I can ask it, Marseille is the capital of, and it will try to answer. This means that if you want, now who controls the context? Who controls? We do. We do. And when you build an AI application, who controls the contents? The engineers and your IT department and the people that decide what questions this kind of agent should be able to answer or not. So, as a summary for this part, so you understand that in order to have an autonomous AI agent, it's not dependent on GPT. It's dependent on us and on the engineers. And what is the context that we give it? So, after we understood this, let's talk about 3 key points. There are many points, how to make it possible. 3 key, most important points, how to make this autonomous AI converge faster. First thing, we need evaluations. What do I mean evaluations? It means that we have a rigorous structured and objective process to measure how this AI agent model autonomous function actually performs against benchmarks in a given use case. A lot of words. What does this mean? For example, you are building a customer support bot. Maybe have a very long list of what kind of questions is asked and examples for the answers. Okay? And when it gives the answer, you can test. Okay? And why? Why is it needed? Because you are developing, again, the context. It's us, it's engineers. We develop, we need to know if the autonomous AI is working at low randomness or high randomness. It's the same as with the autonomous car. When we when Mobileye shipped the autonomous braking, we tested the system, every version, in front of 100,000 hours of video collected around the world to see that no false braking. Autonomous driving systems, they tested like on millions of kilometers. These are complex programs. Those autonomous AI agents we are talking about will need much less. I will explain why, but bear with me. So we need those evaluations and validations so that the engineers would know where they stand. But it's also important for development. Okay? If you try to develop something like this and you know where you stand, you can try something new and see if you improve or not. And this is how developers in AI work. Projects without those evaluations fail. And this is a major problem why most companies fail in the proof of concept. Because there is some conception that you just plug the GPT and it will work. But everyone knows that it's more complex than that. Second, Constraints. Let's say you call the banker, a human banker, and you ask the banker, are you able to tell me the current exchange rate of the US dollar? Can the banker do that? For sure, very easy. In fact, the banker has this dashboard, digital dashboard, where he sees or in a few clicks can reach the exchange rate of today. And he gives the answer. But let's say maybe you had another question, more complex. Could you tell me the size of my largest foreign currency transaction during the week when the US dollar rate was at its lowest? You really need to think about this question and then understand what you need to do. And the bankers usually don't answer that for two reasons. One, their dashboard does not allow them to do that. They can only click and see what the exchange rate was today. They cannot like spend hours in front of it and try all kinds of queries. So this is one. And the second, the human banker cannot do it because the bank does not allow him. The bank says, no, this is too complex. If I don't want you to answer this. For answering such complex question, they should maybe go to our expert, make an appointment, pay a lot of money. This is complex. I leave it to this very expert. You just handle the simple question. So even human agent, customer support agents have constraints. They are not allowed to answer all the questions. Similarly, AI agent bots should have constraints. They should not be allowed to answer all the questions in the world. You know, you cannot let an AI agent answer both what is the current exchange rate of the US dollar and do you believe that there are life out there? Or what do you think about God? You need to put constraints. If you put constraints, then you can test and see that any question that you are expecting to get can be answered with high fidelity, high confidence. And ask and question you do not allow, the bot will say, I am not allowed to say it. And it is okay because this is also for human. So it's a key factor for success to put constraints. I give you a very interesting example. You know what is this? This is an autonomous vehicle. This autonomous vehicle was launched in the Netherlands in 1999. What? Autonomous vehicles in 1999? Only now Google now drives those autonomous vehicles. No, they had an autonomous vehicle for public buses in special routes. So what is the difference here? The autonomous car that everybody now develops, including Mobileye and including Google, aims to work in this scenario. It's very complicated. It has no constraints. Okay? What if we put infrastructure and constraints and we have a lane only for autonomous driving? They did it in 1999. This is what the Netherlands do. And they converge faster with an AI function. So going back to the banker and any AI function, okay, don't go like many companies do and say, put the AI and it will read the documents and everything. No, you have to think. You know that there is a sweet spot. There is a position where it is constrained enough not to have mistakes, but enough functionality to replace people or to do something autonomously. This is what customer service now bots all about. Not replacing 100% of the service, But as you know, most of the demand is like stupid questions. Okay? 80% of the simple questions. Sometimes even, yeah, stupid. Third, there is a very unified principle that we see, that I see over all implementation of AI, is that if you build from scratch, build from new, it's easier to build AI. Okay, where do we see it? With code developers. Code developers now, software, like it's the world. Everybody need to move. We use software products, application, everything. Everything is done with software. Now there are AI tools to help code faster. Okay? But it's very interesting that people that do new projects start from scratch. These copilots and other AI tools save like sometimes 75% of the time. Wow, what ROI. But if you go to some company with a lot of legacy code and a lot of, well, things that are you need to consider and the rules are not written and it's very complex and there are all kinds, sometimes it gives almost no benefit, those AI tools. Even at sometimes reduces the ROI, increases the time that it takes. Okay, so in writing new code, it's like that that example on the road. Okay, if you do not separate it from the chaos that you get in the organization, you will have problems to converge. If you find a route in your organization where you can build the AI route and not mix with the other processes, you will have an easier way to converge. Similarly, you worked with AI images, right? It's very easy now today to make new AI images and send it. Everybody do. But take really an image or a video and really know how to change it. It's really hard. Might be even better just to take Photoshop and do what you want, Writing new contracts. You're a lawyer. You write new contracts. It's easy. You have a contract and you want to every small change, and the AI doesn't have an added value here. So again, it's all under the message that in your organization, if you put a clean path to AI, if you build something from scratch, it would work fast. Now I'm going to go back. You remember the CEO from Lemonade, what he said? 50% increase business, 4% decrease people. I want to tell you something about this company. This company has built insurance from scratch. They are good because they don't have all those papers. They don't have all these people that are examining the claims and asking themselves, okay, look at the evidence here or calculate the premium. They have no people, and they exist for 10 years or more, okay? Before AI. They built everything with no human in the loop, okay? From the scratch. That's why for them it's easy to say, yes, I increased 50% of the business. And by the way, they didn't decrease all the people, 4%. It's a marginal error. I had a discussion with Pedro, right? Correct? Carlos, sorry. I had a discussion with Carlos, and he said about engineer, that engineers fear that they will be replaced. My company works with software developers. We help software developers use those AI tools to be more efficient. Why? Because their managers want to get more done. And they come to us and they are afraid and they say, This AI will take all the interesting stuff I'm doing, all the added value. Now that it codes what the company needs me for. And we tell them, you know what the company hired? You know what they pay you? Yes, you code, yes. And now you will not have to code. But they take you for making the decision and being accountable, because they trust you as a human to be accountable for these decisions. They don't care if you code in English or in code. Okay? So this is about this. The bottom line, and afterwards, I'm open to as many questions as needed. Autonomous AI agent need a lot of validation, a lot of validation. Otherwise, you would fail. Return on investment is larger when building from scratch. The aliens may work for free, but we need to carefully teach them, give constraints, and allow the infrastructure for them to work. Otherwise, it will not work. So thank you very much. I'm really sure you have a lot of questions, so I wanted to save some time for questions. I'm here for you.
Well, thank you very much for your excellent presentation, Mr. Shachar. I think we have seen the difference between fully automated AI and the assistance AI. We're going to work on the QR questions. If you have them, please let us know them, and our team will going to bring them up to me. In the meanwhile, I have two questions related to the presentation you have done. You have put the example of lemon and lemonade, sorry, and we have seen several companies that has decided to fully automated some processes. You have repeated several times the word processes. So I was thinking, if some processes can make you more productive, making them fully automated, but maybe some of them should not be fully automated, but should be done with a lot of assistance AI.
Okay.
And I was thinking on the Lima Chamber of Commerce. The Lima Chamber of Commerce, it's a business association. We do have a lot of services. We have had automated some of them. We are in the initial, procedures, but we have a lot of interaction with people, with customers, with companies, with associates. So from from your knowledge and from your historical research, for this kind of business, would you believe that it's better to make fully automated processes mainly, or focus on AI assistance processes, considering that we interact a lot with people and people want to see you, touch you, work with you?
Both functions, the assistant and the AI, have their place. Both can give good ROI dependent on what you use. As we know, we, with GPT, get a lot of ROI. We save a lot of time. That's okay. So it really depends on the case. And I would like to give you an example from a work we are doing in insurance. Okay? A large American social benefits provider, they have a long process of approving insurance. The applicants has to submit a lot of medical documents. Okay? Why? He was in an accident. Okay? He went to the emergency room and to this doctor and to that doctor. And then he has to justify the bills. He has to say, okay, I needed to do that. What can I do? And he is needed to fill a form. Okay, sometimes with the help of the professional, which costs the insurance company very a lot. And he comes with this stack of papers, thousand PDF screen with everything. Okay, and he needed to fill the form. It takes hours. Okay, and sometimes, you know, the expert is overflowing, so he doesn't have time. So we helped by developing an AI agent that reads, extract everything. It took time because we needed to know what to pay attention and what instruction to give. But once we have it, all the information in those 1,000 pages are extracted and then given the form, and there are different forms for different injuries, you fill it up. Okay? And this speeds completely. And in that sense, I would say, you could say if it's autonomous or not, I think that when they will say, I trust it, they will move on. But then afterwards, for example, it goes to the insurance company and somebody needs to check it. Check it. How do you check? You do the reverse. You look at the form and you go to the 1,000 pages and look. And this takes almost 3 months. Okay. But listen, we told them, okay, but use the same system. You know, we had the system that generates this, the how you fill the form. When we do this, we can save the location in the original document or where we got this summary. And then when you check the evidence, all you need to go is plug into our system, look at the summary, click, and there opens the actual original text. So this is something you can do and speed it up. And afterwards, there's another stage of approving. Yeah, somebody need to rate. There are rules to rate, objective rules. So what we can do is apply already the rules and give a recommendation. So in this stage, I showed you how I use assistants and automatic AI, depending on which part of the process, in order to make this faster.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shachar. Very, very comprehensive response. Well, we have several questions here, and I'm going to try to, gather them in specific topics. I'm going to start with the first one. In what organizations, businesses or companies, you need to firstly update the team capacity to work on AI before applying AI? Is there a first step in order to use correctly AI, even if it's for assistance or for creating a new AI process from scratch?
There are two approaches usually organizations see. The first, very common, build the infrastructure. A lot of companies, like for years, they are being told, you need to build the infrastructure so data would flow, so everything will be connected and your apps would be AI worthy, which is, by the way, a very good thinking. But my approach, or what really this approach, is a bit different. This is what I described is a bottom up. I prefer the top down. What do you mean? First, plot what you want to automate. Look at your processes, map them according to what hurts you most. Okay? Assess with an expert which one you can define in a constrained way and measure, so we'll have a success AI. Out of those, there will be some. Then you will know what are the needed infrastructure and connectivity you need. And then you can decide. Maybe you build ahead to all the infrastructure and prepare to all the AI agent. This is one approach. And the second is make a lane for this. make a lane. We build something only for this AI. Why? You might find that you are able to do several things like that and get quicker ROI instead for your investment. Smaller investment, higher ROI. And then you will have a better idea of what actually infrastructure you need in order to imagine your complete organization as AI. And remember, there are many constraint parameters to consider, not just the infrastructure. You need to think about automating. You need to think about the chaos in the process and which processes have low resistance to AI. And I think this is a learning phase that you cannot learn by bottom up. You learn it from top down.
Thank you very much for the answer. We have another one. This is a very good one. Are there any sectors from your knowledge where we should not invest in AI because they have been overcome by new technologies or new areas? So we don't have to invest there in AI. And what do we need to do is, from scratch, working in different areas that are more profitable or more better for the future of the company?
Let's say that AI will transform everything, and you need to consider build, buy, or wait. Build, buy, or wait. For example, in agriculture, okay. In agriculture, it less makes sense for you to invest your own efforts in doing something very technological. I would say in the mining aspect of the physical operation of mining, etc., you might find that some companies offer like these robots, and you will not build this robot yourself. Okay, so this is a buy. Also, you have like sometimes, for example, in legal as many companies doing this. Don't develop your own. You'll have you can buy, and legal has many aspects, not just writing, but also commenting and different aspects of what your legal profession is actually allowing you to do. So, but there are areas where you should build. For example, when you design your support customer, you're actually replacing someone you have trained. No other will give you this solution because you have your own conditions and limitations, and there you need to instruct this AI. Listen, I'm sorry that but I think of this AI like, okay, I come to a new company. I know to speak language. I have a lot of background in a lot of stuff, and then I sit in the bank and somebody asks me this very question. A customer calls and says, I'm a student. Why do I still pay commission on my account? Because some accounts has commissions. What do I do with this? Okay, there is this system. What do I check? What should I tell him? And there comes this, you come to the organization, somebody teaches you. No, our policy in the bank is like this. First, you check the status and on the account. Then if it is eligible, what is mean eligible? He needs to be like. So these policies, this is called what we call business logic. This is something, by the way, that does not exist out there. GPT doesn't know your business logic. It doesn't know, maybe you want to push some credit card as a banker. Maybe you want to be more lenient or some forthcoming on some offers. You have your business logic, your constraints. This is something that nobody will solve outside. This is something you need to build yourself.
You're having several questions. There are like 30 questions, so we will have to.
I will have to
narrow it. No. Narrow it down. I'm just trying to focus on the main ones. Here is one related to the AI bots for companies. Our attendees are asking if, would you believe that this will be a fully necessary AI, not assistance, but fully automated processes for the whole companies since 2050, 2025, 26,
I would.
no one has to invest in physical systems.
So I believe in a thing that's called natural selection. Let's say there are 99 companies that adopt this kind of assistance or not fully. And then comes another company like Lemonade. And it's fully automatic. You can get your claim in 3 seconds. Okay, now they do it on some cases, maybe not all the cases, but you get the idea. They will take over the market. Why? Because their operation costs are zero. And their abilities, they do not have they have a different business model. They charge you for the use, not for they don't have this incentive not to reject your claim. So it's something different. And you have a choice to who would you work, and you work with this 1% who's more efficient. This is natural selection. So the question is, like, I think that eventually, fully autonomous is more efficient, and natural selection will dictate that whoever is first will shape the market.
Great. Thank you very much for that. There's another question regarding the security of the information. There's a lot of people who is asking, thinking, what happened with my information that I have furnished for several years with my teammates, with my company, with my people, and I'm gonna let it to an automated system.
Okay.
How does this work? How
Great.
can I be sure that the information is not gonna be everywhere?
Okay.
How does it work?
Anybody uses Gmail?
Yeah, everywhere.
Everyone uses Outlook. Okay. So those emails that contain the heart of all your most important business and personal information are working in secured areas in the cloud of Google and Microsoft. Those AI bots, they offer the service for those AI bots in the same areas. So for you, it feels different, but it's the same. It's the same as secured. So we build services, for example, on AI, on Google Cloud Platform or on Azure Cloud Platform with the same security as your company. So I would say security is not the issue here. It's like perceived, but yes, Google has Gemini deployed in a safe environment just next to your Gmail. And Azure deploys your GPT just next to your Outlook.
No worries on that. We have not to worry about on data security.
I worry about data security always because all my personal stuff is on Gmail. Okay, so I don't say I don't worry, but I worry the same.
Okay, great. There's several questions related to people that don't know how to use AI. And they're quite confused on several platforms. You have GPT, you have Meta, you have Gemini, you have Grok, and all of them. Would you recommend these people, these companies, to start working on those platforms, or it's better to start from scratch with a furnished, specifically system done, ad hoc for the company?
Okay, all the models are the same.
Really?
All the models are the same. Okay, really. I mean, they're trying to differentiate, but the basic way how they train it, it's the same. The knowledge is the same. If you see a new functionality which works well in one, let's say Claude 3.7, you will see it in another month in the other one. Natural selection. Everybody will try to come. Why? Because the mechanisms to do those are known. There is no intellectual property here, guys. There is no intellectual property. What one company does, the other one can do. Okay, so if you work with you basically experience, but a year ago it was, this one is good in Spanish, this was less, this no, but like 3 months and everything is like, no, this better, no, this better. They are all the same. And when you build, by the way, just an important one, there are now, a lot of them are overkill. When we build customer support agent, we do not use the most sophisticated agent. they are trying to do there something which is very expensive. Okay, just to know, you know, those guys, the GPT, if you work with O3 or Claude 3.7, it's thinking. You know what it means in thinking? It's the same model that spits, that predict the next word, but now in the context they tell it first plan, and it starts to think. So it starts to spit a lot of sentences and spit and spit and spit and spit and burns through one tree, second tree, three trees. So it really spends a lot. So it's very, and it takes time. That's why the other one's faster. So in your application, your bot, you want it fast, cheap. You have enough already. So in terms of models, it doesn't matter what the choice. If you don't know where to start, first of all, as a personal person, just start to work with GPT. I constantly develop with him. Now I'm sorry, so all my Spanish at the beginning was GPT, you know. I know how to read, which is okay, but I couldn't have come with it alone, okay? So I do it all the time, and that's okay. Silvia, you work always. You know, it was hard, but it's less harder. You just try. You make the first step. You make, and also me. Okay, guys, I always hear about these new tools every time, and I like, how can I keep up? Right? How can I keep up? Well, you need some patience, and whatever works for you, and always take the next step and innovate yourself.
Great. Thank you very much for that answer. Well, we have two more,
Okay.
and then we have a final surprise. This one is very good. This is from Claudia Martinez. She specialized in emotions.
Emotions.
And she was telling us that there is a trend in people to use AI in order to solve, it's quite interesting, to solve relationship problems.
Okay, I have something to do about that, which is not related to my AI experience.
Okay. But does AI has the capacity to get into emotions and also has this kind of reactions?
First of all, the question if AI has emotions is philosophical. To say is the similar as if you have emotions. Maybe also you have a next word predictor in your mind, and you think you have emotion, but this is what it is. So it's a philosophical question. Practically, GPT and those, they have very good suggestions. They have very good suggestions. You know, sometimes you just need someone to give you the good suggestions that somebody never tells you. You know, you're a parent. You never tell everything to your kids. The kids grow up and they say, why didn't you tell me all these things about this life, right? As a parent, you never do that. So they go to GPT. But I'm kidding. My personal view here is, for example, in emotion, you are going through a psychological process. Usually, you are processing some relations you have to other people, and GPT has good answers. But I think that when you go to a therapist, you correct the relations you have by your relations with the therapist, which is human. And you cannot have a relation with the bot. The bot goes away. If the bot turns off, you are not sad. It is not sad, at least, okay, if you go away. So relations are, and therapists, I think the emotional connection based on you being human and me being human, I think it's important for therapy and finding solutions to problems. But that's my view.
Thank you very much. I believe everyone fully agree with your position too. Well, we have another one, the last one, and it's related to traffic in Peru. I don't know if you have felt it.
25 years ago, I was going in the outskirts of Lima, and I said I never thought I'm going to see something like that ever again.
And I am asking you this because, you know, for example, Waze, the platform for traffic managing, it also uses AI at the end, in the backstage maybe. But Waze, as we remember, they said that they had problems in Peru trying to apply the algorithm, yes, but it was not working so well. What do you think? Is it possible in a country like Peru, where we are not fully automated, when we have a breach in infrastructure, where should we put the eggs, in what basket, in order to try to work on traffic with AI?
Yeah, so Waze doesn't really, Waze doesn't solve traffic. It helps you bypass the problem just to cause a problem in another place. Okay, so solving transportation, I mean, that's infrastructure. By the way, a very autonomous and useful vehicle to take many people from one place to another is a train. Okay, so infrastructure, there are better solutions than AI. Regarding the problems in Peru, I might imagine that due to the chaos of everything that happens in the road, it's very hard for them to predict where there will be a terrible jam. And this can develop in minutes. And they work on predicting also. So they guide you through some place and wham, you get the jam, and they didn't predict it because, so this is why they have problems. So the chaos is problematic. And again, it relates to infrastructure and chaos and where autonomous AI works well or not.
Great. Well, thank you very much. We're trying to keep the pace on the agenda. So we thank Mr. Ori Shachar for this wonderful presentation and answering all our questions. Thank you very much for being part of this event. Thank you. Well, and for finishing our conference, and in order to keep the topic of AI, we will have the closing remarks on our director, John Gleiser, from CEO of Corporación Rey. Please, go ahead. John is not here in Peru. He's going to address his words online.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor to address you today. Although I am not physically present in this space, I did not want to miss the opportunity to express my gratitude and share a few reflections as we close this event. Today, technology and ethics have come together not as opposites, but as allies in building a fairer and brighter future. Our guest Ori today has discussed what artificial intelligence can do, but also what it must do, guided by principles that benefit humanity, as well as practical use examples in the service industry. I hope we can all go back and reflect on some of these ideas and come up with great and innovative ways of using this in our businesses and even in our daily lives. I would like to take this opportunity to once again congratulate the Lima Chamber of Commerce for its commitment to fostering an ethical dialogue surrounding artificial intelligence. Events like today's, AI in your business, how to implement it effectively starting today, not only provide us with knowledge, but also give us the chance to reflect on the impact we create with our technological decisions. Thanks to Ori Shachar, co-founder and CEO of Automate Labs, we had the opportunity to delve deeper into the proper use of artificial intelligence. Shachar is a prominent advocate for AI, not only from a technical perspective, but from a practical and responsible viewpoint. While navigating LinkedIn, I came across a recent video in which he clearly explained the essential steps for implementing machine learning, ML, in business, emphasizing the importance of creating validation databases, measuring the performance of the current system, and establishing a structured data flow. These steps, far from being mere technical details, are fundamental to ensuring that the technology works effectively and ethically. Shachar reminds us that when adopting AI, we must do more than just solve problems, we must do so with purpose. His approach to creating validation libraries and identifying failure data reflects his commitment to an implementation that seeks not only efficiency, but also ensures that systems work for the common good. His role as an advocate for the responsible use of AI is crucial to ensure that the adoption of this technology goes beyond technical advancements and also respects principles that benefit everyone. It is often said that we live in extraordinary times, where artificial intelligence is becoming a powerful tool in sectors such as transportation, medicine, and industry. Examples like Volkswagen's AI Lab and Procter & Gamble's Supply Chain 3.0 initiative show us how AI can improve efficiency and drive significant advancements. However, we also face challenges that we cannot ignore. How do we maintain our humanity in the face of algorithms that make decisions? So, I invite you to look beyond the technical potential of AI. Let us reflect on how we can ensure that these technologies reflect the best of us as human beings. How do we lead in a world where innovation advances at a whirlwind pace? This event, organized by the Lima Chamber of Commerce, has proven that it is possible to learn and build a consensus around these issues. Thank you for being part of this important conversation. Thank you for accepting the challenge of being innovators. I wish you success in your future projects, and I thank you for joining us in this gathering. See you later in another real space.
Well, we want to thank John, and the backstage story on this video is that John couldn't make it here. He's abroad, and he couldn't connect online. And we couldn't make a video on him because he was quite busy and the agenda couldn't allow us to have a video. But what we did with him was, with a speech made by him, we turned it into a video using AI. This is a first instance, first stage video, of course. But this let us know, this is just the tip of the iceberg, but you can make videos and you can make a speech to everyone with video and with your face and, transmitting the message on AI basis. So John wants to let you know that we are working on that sense, and he couldn't make it, but he was very eager to hear your presentation, Mr. Shachar. Thank you very much. Well, thank you on behalf of the Lima Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for joining us today, and we hope that this event has left us very clear ideas, fresh motivation, and the drive to create real challenge and changes in our companies. See you in a future event, and have a great day. Thank you very much.